6'5" sensation who's causing opposing coaches to have nightmares.
When you talk about great all-around college basketball players in the history of the NCAA, you have to mention Oscar Robertson.
He had no weakness. He could pass, he could shoot, he could defend, he could rebound.
Oscar was the first really big guard who had all the attributes of a little man. He was quick, he was smart, he was adroit, he was strong, he could leap. So you were looking at a guy who could do everything that a 6-foot guy could do, but he was 6'5" and weighed 210, 215. He had an extraordinary advantage on most college guards.
His mental aspect of the game was always light years ahead of anybody that ever played the game.
Watch number 12 assist on another two-pointer that gives the Bearcats a 76-64 lead.
While Oscar Robertson introduced the triple-double as a pro, he rehearsed it during his 3 seasons at Cincinnati. 34 points, 15 boards, and 7 assists per game. He was the first sophomore named Player of the Year.
When you play basketball, if you're a player, you know, a real true player, you don't worry about things like that. The game comes to you, you take advantage of the situation when you're in the game. I never was conscious of anything I did at the university. The scoring, or the assists, or the rebounds.
He was the epitome of the basketball player that flowed into what was the objective of the game, which was to get the easiest shot, the closest to the basket, as often as possible. And he had the uncanny ability to make an average player on his team good.
The Big O scored 56 in a regional game in '58, and the next 2 seasons led Cincinnati to the Final Four. The least surprised at his brilliance were those who played with him.
He was a standout from the time we practiced as a freshman, played freshman basketball, to the time we graduated in college. He amazed me every time he stepped on the court. No one was going to stop Oscar, and no one ever did.
There's Bill Russell, San Francisco sensational All-American center.
When I was working for Time and Sports Illustrated, we constantly sent memos back to New York saying you should think of putting this guy from San Francisco, Bill Russell, on the cover. They'd come back and say, yeah, but we got the box score last night. He got 6 points. And we'd say, yeah, but did you notice the other team only got 42?
Russell blocks his shot.
With Bill Russell patrolling the pivot, opponents' shots were swallowed up and turned into breakaways. He was so adept at shot blocking that the NCAA widened the lane.
Bill Russell is basketball's all-time most valuable player. I think he elevated the defensive end of the floor beyond anybody's imagination.
When he first started blocking shots, he'd knock it out of bounds. But he got it to such an art, his block would be the first pass of a fast break. He had such incredible timing. He was a great jumper. He had very long arms. He always said that it wasn't blocking shots, it was the threat of it. He didn't block every shot that he could. He picked his spots and he made them think about it.
It became Bill's team when he was blocking everything and his conversation with us. Don't worry about it. Take care of it. You just keep playing hard and you back me up and I'll take care of your guy.
One of 5 players to post a career average of 20 points and 20 boards, Russell led the Dons to 55 straight wins and back-to-back national title championships in '55 and '56. His intuitiveness was what impressed others.
His intelligence was not only related to angles on the court and knowledge of the game and understanding of the techniques of rebounding and shot blocking and team dynamics, but also because he had an incredible mental understanding of the game.
The West Coast was kind of behind the curve in college basketball after World War II. Bill Russell kind of changed it to where the sport just really kind of flourished after that, and I think he, in essence, he really kind of set the table for UCLA.
If I went back over all of the years of the NCAA, the guy that I would choose to pick as standing alone in NCAA tournament competition, without any reservation, would be Bill Russell.
Número number 2.
As a college player, he was incomparable. He had a presence on the court that was so intimidating and engulfing. This cloud hung over the gym wherever he was.
Bill was a leader. He was a vocal leader on the team as a freshman. And that's what you really don't see. The greatness came from Bill being that dominant leader.
Walton goes up. Walton hits it.
He was Wild Bill Walton, the red-headed rebel in an era of the flower child. And his energy and passion fueled the UCLA juggernaut. He was both defender and choreographer in the pivot, leading the Bruins to the national titles in '72 and '73, and was instrumental in extending their winning streak to an NCAA record 88.
Bill Walton changed everything inside. He's the whole complexity of the game because he was so defensive-minded. You knew Bill was back there to save you on your defense. I could put so much pressure on people that they would get by me and they would run into Bill Walton.
He did it at both ends. He rebounded, he passed, he scored. He would take rebounds off the rim so fast on missed shots that I couldn't tell, even watching the film later, whether the ball was still over the rim or not.
You had the sense, even though he was following Kareem, that he was 8 feet tall. I mean, his ability to catapult himself straight up. He didn't lean, he jumped straight and was able to deliver the ball on a break better than anyone I've ever seen.
In the 1973 title game, Walton made 21 of 22 shots en route to a 44-point performance that awed almost everyone but the man himself.
I get a lot of special credit and recognition for the night in 1973 when I set a number of records in the championship game. But that was far from my best game. It was just a game where it all came together.
Memphis State had begun to crumble under the relentless attack of the Bruins and Bill Walton.
If you would take all the fundamentals you would want in a center or post player and judge him, I think Bill Walton, healthy, would rate higher than any player that's ever played.
One left, number one. Here's a hint. He prepped at Power Memorial High School in New York City.